لا يعتبر بالآيات ولا ينظر إلى المواعظ والعبر، بل ولا يتعظ بالعبر إلا المنيب إلى ربه جل وعلا. قال الله سبحانه: فلم ينظروا إلى السماء فوقهم كيف بنيناها وزيناها وما لها من فروج والأرض مددناها وألقينا فيها رواسي وأنبتنا فيها من كل زوج بهيج تبصرة وذكرى لكل عبد منيب. وقال سبحانه: هو الذي يريكم آياته وينزل لكم من السماء رزقا وما يتذكر إلا من ينيب. Also Allah the Exalted has declared the men of understanding are truly the ones who return to Allah often, who hasten towards worshiping Allah, following the ways of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. For Allah the Exalted says, have they not looked at the skies above them, how we have structured it and adorned it, and how it has no rifts, and the earth we spread it out and cast therein firmly set mountains, and made grow therein something of every beautiful kind, given insight and a reminder for every servant who turns to Allah. Munib, who's constantly repenting, returning, and rushing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another ayah, Allah the Exalted says, it is He who shows you His signs and sends down to you from the sky provision, but none will remember, except he who turns back to Him, meaning a repentance. We often ask ourselves, when we hear the statements of Allah, it does not move our hearts in the least. The servant, when he sits alone, he does not look over his sins and thinks about the matters in which he crossed in the deen of Allah, the actions of transgressions in which he has committed, the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in which he violated. He recites the words of Allah, or he hears them, and it does not in any way get them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He sees the skies and how Allah kept it up with no posts or pillars, and the earth and how Allah spread it out for him, and the ni'am and the bounties that Allah has granted him, and it does not get him closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is because we have a seal over our hearts. It is because we have not repented to Allah sincerely. It is because even if we repented, we have not rushed back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfilling the ta'at, begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly for forgiveness. We see the sins we have committed as nothing, that it would not even affect us in the least. While the believer, whom his heart is moved upon hearing the verses of Allah, there are ways that led to that status. He's constantly mindful of Allah. He's constantly returning to Allah. He's always rushing towards obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His statements when he hears the commands from the Quran, a commands from the Sunnah, sami'na wa ata'na, we hear and we obey. But when you find the bid'ah and you accept him, and you find the Sunnah and you reject him, and you hear the statements of Allah and it becomes tightened upon your heart to continue hearing it, there is no way you will ever attain the title of man of understanding. Those who ponder over the signs of Allah, and those who indeed rush to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.